And all of you are aware that based on the accounting procedures in government, if you don't use it, you lose it. In other words, you can't carry it forward. Now I ask myself for the last 27 years we're talking about crime. And with crime being the #1 problem in Jamaica, I make no apology by saying that spending 17% of our capital budget for national security with 4 months to go is unacceptable. Persons that we put in charge of these capital budgets must be held accountable.
Good day, my wonderful friends. It's me again, the great, one more great countryman. Remember to like, share and subscribe and hit your notification button. Give me 1 million likes on this. Help me on that one, yeah. Alright. Now, when you hear the clip I just play, that's Senator Webley. And you hear what the man say. The budget for national security is 25% of our GDP. Let me repeat that again. The budget of the national security is 25% of our GDP. So if the GDP is 100 billion, then 25 billion go towards national security. Now, him say him can't understand for the love of Christ, why is there only 17% of that budget has been used? And the money is there, or them have the money, me don't know what them do with the money. So obviously, they are not investing in crime fighting the way they are supposed to be. Now, may I play a couple more clips with Mr. Webley, but the other day, I did a video on neoliberalism and how it mash up Jamaica. And that is what Mr. Webley said today in Parliament when they were doing their national debate. So I'm gonna play a clip from that video that I did on this channel. It's called Neoliberalism and How It Affects Jamaica. It caused the crime and violence and gang. So that video, you can check it out. But I'm gonna play a clip from it and then come back and talk and play Mr. Webley. Let's go. The coalition between IMF, World Bank, and all these other big banks who we borrow money from. And what we want to talk about is neoliberalism. And I'm going to explain what neoliberalism is. And after the explanation, I'm going to explain how it affects Jamaica. Alright, let's go.
The neoliberal transformation, SAPS and the Jamaican state. The 1980s is referred to as the lost decade, with the policies of privatization, liberalization, deregulation, and budget cuts leading to disastrous eeks on the political economies of developing countries. Neoliberal reforms led to stagnation or decline in GDP growth, an increase in unemployment, a drop in wages, reductions in public expenditure on social services, and an aggravation of poverty.
Now, wanna just hear the explanation of neoliberalism. So, watch this now. We have a fast forward November 11th or 10th, 2022. And listen to Senator Webley. He must say the same thing when me I say, and the same thing where the news media say, that neoliberalism and the policy of the IMF and all them banks, World Bank, we are borrow money for pay money. We got the country But yet still, money sit down in the National Security Ministry for fight crime. Yo, listen to Mr. Webley, and then after that, me I go do my synopsis and me I go Lego. Listen to this. At them start crime, and at them I feed the crime of Jamaica and the murder and them thing. They hear this.
I believe that there is a strong correlation between the high level of debt that we have experienced over the many years and crime. Let's look back at 1991. Colleagues, in 1991, the debt to GDP ratio peaked at 232% of GDP. In other words, we're borrowing to pay borrowing, to pay borrowing. If this country was a business, it would have gone bankrupt. We didn't have any money to invest in education. We didn't have any money to invest in fighting crime. We didn't have any money to provide in proper health care, housing for our people, and developing the country's infrastructure, because we were paying debt. Not only paying debt, we were borrowing to pay debt and borrowing to pay interest. And all of you are aware that based on the accounting procedures in government, if you don't use it, you lose it. In other words, you can't carry it forward. Now I ask myself, for the last 27 years, we're talking about crime. And with crime being the #1 problem in Jamaica, I make no apology by saying that spending 17% of our capital budget for national security with 4 months to go is unacceptable. Persons that we put in charge of these capital budgets must be held accountable. My understanding is that this legislation will lay the foundation for the reform of the JCF towards community policing to stabilize communities gripped by crime, building social cohesion, and in doing so, form crime prevention partnerships. The Police Services Act has been dropped from the legislative agenda, and I would like to see the bill retabled in Parliament as soon as possible. Whatever is holding us back from implementing this act to support the transformation of the JCF, we have to find a way to overcome challenge resources, technical expertise, financing, whatever it is to overcome the challenge.
You hear where the senator say, him lay it out straight, and explain what neoliberalism is. But what he is also saying that we used to borrow for pay money where we borrow. So borrow for pay more debt. You get a debt for pay another debt. You rob from Peter and pay Paul. That's what we did for years. But then he went on to say, now the country kinda do a lot better or a little bit better in a monetary thing, and there's money in the national security budget, and the man them not asking it in the right way, and then him talk about the law, the Police Service Act, modernize the police force, and the man them throw that through the door. So it seems like the national security team and the man them may fight crime is discombobulated. Them create so much different police team. I see one the other day, the one where I look for bigger crimes is not even if you don't believe me, go on Facebook, bigger crime or grimy boss from St. Thomas, him on the JDF website. And the JDF, them have a special team too, We're different from the police them way. We're different from the army man them will go with the police, So I don't know how much special force them can create like that. It's crazy. The Police Services Act, we do deal with community policing, and a lot of other good things need to be done. So yo, Senator Webley, lick it right on the head. And that's what neoliberalism is doing to us. Crime, murder, robbery, rape, killing. My name is Countryman. I'm out.